Here is the BCTV local and African news summary for Tuesday, September 16th. Liberia's Drug Enforcement Agency has announced mandatory drug tests for its officers in Nimba County following positive results among several Bomi County officers who now face dismissal. Women living with disabilities in Liberia are urging the government to take urgent steps to promote their empowerment through education and social inclusion. World Health Organization officials are warning that the Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo could spread further, including across the border into Angola, after a case was confirmed 70 kilometers. Graduates of the Alexander B. Cummings Model Science and Technology School in Monrovia have been encouraged to see their diplomas as the start of their lifelong journey. Speaking at the 2025 graduation ceremony, businessman and Alternative National Congress political leader Alexander B. Cummings told students that the jobs of tomorrow will require new skills and urged them to remain curious and committed to learning. Cummings also called for stronger investment in teachers, a balance between academic and vocational training, expanded adult education, and accountability to ensure diplomas across Liberia carry equal value. Women living with disabilities in Liberia are urging the government to take urgent steps to promote their empowerment, education, and social inclusion, the Women's Voices newspaper reports. At a recent 3-day consultative conference organized by KTK, disability rights advocate Evelyn Venice said, among others, that she was calling on authorities to sign and implement the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities and establish a National Commission on Disabilities. They stressed that stigma, lack of opportunities, and exclusion from development continue to marginalize women with disabilities, especially those living on the streets. The group highlighted the need for sign language education and inclusive services in hospitals, police stations, and schools. Christine Vanja, a mother of 3, urged the government of Liberia to provide sustainable livelihood for visually impaired women instead of handouts, while Dede Robert, president of Liberia Deaf Women in Action, called for interpreters at public service points to ensure inclusion in national development. Front Page Africa reports that Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency, the LDEA Director General Fitzgerald Biago, has announced mandatory drug tests for officers in Nimba County following positive results among several Bomi County officers who now face dismissal. Speaking in Ganta, Biago urged business leaders, market women, and residents to collaborate with the LDEA in combating drug use and trafficking, stressing that making Nimba, Ganta, and Monserrado drug-free will set a national model. Biago revealed plans for a confidential hotline to report drug activities and officers engaged in drug offenses, aiming to boost transparency and community participation. You're listening to the BCTV News Summary. Borrowing costs for governments and businesses in South Africa, Nigeria, and Kenya have climbed over the past 5 years, driven by policy weaknesses, inflation, and unfavorable market conditions, Reuters reports. Moody's Ratings, in a study released on Monday, noted that while these economies face rising funding needs for development, they are burdened with higher interest rates than advanced economies and limited access to capital. Moody's Senior Vice President Lucy Villa said borrowing costs remain high across the board. And finally, the World Health Organization, the WHO, has launched vaccinations in response to a new Ebola outbreak in Kasai Province, Democratic Republic of the Congo. So far, 400 doses of the 𝐂𝐕 vaccine have been delivered to Bulape, the epicenter of the outbreak, with an additional 45,000 doses approved to help contain the virus. This marks the DRC's first Ebola outbreak in 3 years, with 32 suspected cases, 20 confirmed, and 16 deaths reported. WHO officials warned that the outbreak could spread further, including across the border into Angola, after a case was confirmed 70 kilometers from the epicenter in Bulape. And the weather forecast for Buchanan City for Tuesday, September 16th. Rain showers in the morning with thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. The high is 84 degrees with a chance of rain at 70%. And the central bank currency exchange rate, $1 is fetching 177 Liberian dollars. To summarize, Liberia's Drug Enforcement Agency has announced mandatory drug tests for its officers in Nimba County following positive results among several Bomi County officers who now face dismissal. Women living with disabilities in Liberia are urging the government to take urgent steps to promote their empowerment through education and social inclusion. And World Health Organization officials are warning that the Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo could spread further, including across the border into Angola. That's the BCTV local and African news summary up to the minute.